Part 113. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1123. All this made Zhang Zizai completely dazed. He certainly didn't have so much blood in his body. What was going on? While he was dazed, the dragon formed by his own blood clan had already rushed into the body of the blue dragon. Then, in the next moment, a miracle happened again. A small part of the blue lightning was separated from the huge body of the eternal chaos blue thunder dragon, forming a blue dragon as thick as a thigh. It flew towards Zhang Zizai and wrapped around Zhang Zizai's body in a short moment. The blue dragon was completely alive, just like a living creature. While wrapping around Zhang Zizai, it also rubbed Zhang Zizai's face intimately with its head, giving him a numb feeling of being touched by an electric wire. Then the blue dragon flew around again, like a newborn baby, very happy, but it would not run too far, and basically stayed by Zhang Zizai's side. Zhang Zizai was stunned for a moment, but he smiled after thinking about it. After all, this was the world of Chaos Thunder Bell, everything was fake, and he might go out in the next moment, and then he could only rely on hitting the Chaos Thunder Bell to feel the vibration of the Chaos Thunder Bell, and then come here again. But strangely, the time he stayed here this time was too long. It was not until the little green lightning dragon played for a while that Zhang Zizai felt that his eyes were tending to nothingness, and he was finally back to the Holy Dragon Mountain. But, what was particularly strange was that his body still felt numb. Then, he was completely confused. Because he had seen the Chaos Thunder Bell, and even Xuanhuan and the others, proving that this was the Holy Dragon Mountain, but at this time, he saw that the little green lightning dragon was still wrapped around him, and its appearance was exactly the same as that of the eternal Chaos Green Thunder Tribulation Dragon, but it was shrunk countless times. This little green lightning dragon played around him, but it hardly left him 3 feet away. It was real, Zhang Zizai was not wrong. When he raised his head, he found that everyone present, including Xuanhuan and Mu Xiaoao, looked at him with dull eyes. What is this? Zhang Zizai himself didn't know how the little green dragon that separated from the eternal Chaos Green Thunder Tribulation Dragon followed him here. The son of the heavenly artifact, Xuanhuan said in a lost voice. The son of the heavenly artifact, Zhang Zizai was still confused. He could feel that he had formed a connection with the little green dragon. The heavenly artifact, can give birth to a child? Zhang Zizai asked. No one answered him because their eyes were very strange. Let me see, Mu Xiaoao came to his side. When she came, Zhang Zizai could clearly feel that the little green dragon was hostile to him, as if there was a consciousness to protect Zhang Zizai, and it was directly entangled with Zhang Zizai. It is indeed the son of the heavenly artifact. You really made a fortune, Mu Xiaoao said with great envy. Really? What's the use? Zhang Zizai teased the little green dragon, a little curious. You got the son of Chaos Thunder Bell, which proves that you got its initial recognition. Compared with others, you are more likely to get the recognition of Chaos Thunder Bell in the future, and have more opportunities to control the 9-dragon Chaos Divine Bell than others. In history, there are not many people who got the son of heavenly artifact, and they are all the people closest to the 9-dragon Chaos Divine Bell, Mu Xiaoao said. So, this is not born by the heavenly artifact? Zhang Zizai asked with a smile. They acted too surprised. Isn't it just the initial recognition of Chaos Thunder Bell? According to Mu Xiaoao, other people who got the son of heavenly artifact in history did not get the 9-dragon Chaos Divine Bell in the end. Of course not, this is just a lead of the heavenly artifact, can be said to be a tracking test for you. Or wait for your growth. However, the son of heavenly artifact can give you a very small part of the ability of the heavenly artifact, even if it is a very small part, but it is very scary for the god. Mu Xiaoao said this. She was particularly curious, what ability will this little green dragon bring to Zhang Zizai? Watch out, she suddenly attacked Zhang Zizai and punched him. Although she looked weak, the power of this punch was comparable to that of a giant beast. Because the distance was too close and the attack was too sudden, Zhang Zizai could only dodge subconsciously, but it was a critical moment and it was difficult to dodge. Unexpectedly, at this time, the green lightning dragon was more nervous than Zhang Zizai. It suddenly rushed into Zhang Zizai's body and turned into dense green lightning. In the blink of an eye, Zhang Zizai suddenly found that his speed had increased too much. Whoosh! A green lightning flashed, and he dodged Mu Xiaoyao's attack directly. What a fast speed, watch out! Mu Xiaoyao wanted to spar with him, and chased Zhang Zizai all the way. Zhang Zizai was immersed in the changes brought by the green lightning dragon. The countless green lightning actually merged into his divine body and divine source. In this state, he almost had a speed comparable to that of a high-level god. Anyway, he could easily dodge Mu Xiaoyao's pursuit, so that she couldn't even touch him. But before she had this little green lightning dragon, her speed was faster than Zhang Zizai's. This should be the ability of the son of the heavenly artifact. One of the effects of the Chaos Thunder Bell is called Chaos Lightning, which can greatly increase the speed of the holder. You should have obtained the ability of Chaos Lightning now. Although it is only a small part, it is enough to increase your speed too much. I guess even the 7th level of the Divine Lord realm can't catch you. After chasing for a long time, Mu Xiaoyao was already out of breath. She gritted her teeth and looked at Zhang Zizai, saying, "Ah, hate it. You are so lucky, why did you choose you? Is this Chaos Thunder Bell a woman, so it is indifferent to this girl?" This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Zhang Zizai laughed out loud, this time he made a profit. He didn't expect that dripping blood would work, but why didn't other people's blood dripping work? While he was thinking, Tuabasia actually cut in line and arrived in front of the Chaos Thunder Bell first, and directly tore his palm and bombarded the Chaos Thunder Bell, but Zhang Zizai took a look and found that the Chaos Thunder Bell had no reaction at all. He tried several times in a row and could only return disappointed. "Come on, big fat man, don't compare with him," Mu Xiaoyao said. "Ah, God," Tuabasia stared at Zhang Zizai and said, "I really want to kick your ass hard. In fact, no one has obtained the son of the heavenly artifact of the 9-dragon Chaos Divine Bell for many years. If it gets out, Zhang Zizai will definitely become a figure that people discuss again. This Zilong Academy has brought him too many good fortunes. This place is simply his blessed land." After obtaining the chaotic lightning ability of the green lightning dragon, Zhang Zizai prepared to go out for a rest and take a look at Yan'er in an instant. After a month of separation, he always misses her a little. After he left, Tuabasia and Mu Xiaoyao looked at each other. Humph! Humph! The two glared at each other. "Don't be interested in him," Tuabasia said. "Why should you care? You should take care of your flesh. You know nothing. My flesh is wealth. The fatter I am, the stronger I am," Tuabasia said. "Ew," Mu Xiaoyao made a vomiting gesture and ran away. Leaving Tuabasia behind, taking a deep breath, his eyes flickering. There are still 2 chapters today. Ah, handsome brothers and sisters, please believe me, finish the chores this week. I want to dig graves and paint walls, and type on the keyboard. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1124. After Zhang Zizai came out of the Holy Dragon Mountain, he carefully tried to cooperate with the Green Electric Dragon. He found that the Green Electric Dragon obeyed his wishes. As long as he wanted to, he could make this Green Electric Dragon follow his own wishes. The Green Lightning Dragon cooperated with himself to display the Chaos Lightning. As long as the Green Electric Dragon is integrated into his divine body, his fighting speed and action speed will suddenly increase, completely surpassing the limit of his realm. He was already very fast, and now he is so fast that even the top gods are moved. The son of a divine weapon is indeed incredible. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward Arrow. Zhang Zizai himself didn't even understand how he got the initial approval of this divine weapon. There were indeed some people in history who got the same fate as him, but in the end they didn't get the 9 Dragons Chaos Divine Bell, so Zhang Zizai didn't have much idea about the artifact that day. He was very satisfied with his fortune in the Holy Dragon Mountain. After the speed increased, it meant that his life-saving skills were much stronger, which increased his hope of survival. Sometimes you can't beat your opponent, but you can still run. Of course, I have to come back and share such good news with Lu Dingxing and the others. After returning to their remote Qianlong Palace, it turned out that neither Lu Dingxing nor Xuanhuan was there. They must have gone to the Xuanlong Pavilion or the Divine Dragon Pagoda to practice. Zhang Zizai turned to Long Yan. She should have been to the second level of the True Dragon's secret realm. Knocking on the door outside, no one responded. Zhang Zizai walked in and found that she was indeed not there. But there was a note taped to the door, which said in Zhuangzi's handwriting, "I went to Xuanlong Mountain. If you come back, you can come find me." This was obviously left to him by Long Yan. Xuanlong Mountain. Zhang Zizai remembered that the area of Xuanlong Mountain occupies most of the entire ancestral dragon guardian totem array. It is the outer part of the ancestral dragon academy. It is full of towering ancient trees. It is rugged, with mountains and abyss, and deep abyss. Bottomless lakes and rivers. For countless years since Zilong Academy was closed, the mythical beasts of Xuanlong Mountain have multiplied, and have long since formed a very large scale. Zhang Zizai had been to Xuanlong Mountain last time, and that was the Forbidden Dragon Xuanbi. There are many wonderful places there, like the Forbidden Dragon Xuanbi. It is said that there are mythical beasts that rely on these wonderful places to have incredible power. Now that the Ancestral Dragon Academy has just been established, the main task of the Dragon Sacrifice Masters is to explore Xuanlong Mountain and confirm the number and strength of the sacred beasts in it. Generally, for the sake of safety, it is not recommended that the current Academy disciples enter Xuanlong Mountain to practice, because Dragon Sacrifice the divisions were also not sure how many threats there were before they investigated clearly. Recently, not many people have entered Xuanlong Mountain to practice. Zhang Zizai thought she had gone to the True Dragon's secret realm, but he didn't expect her to be so courageous. He and Long Yan were wearing the God's Guide ring. Although the God's Guide ring was not as effective as the Child Mother ring, it was still possible to roughly determine her location. Now, after using the God's Guide ring to sense it, it could be roughly seen that she was indeed in the ring. The direction of Longshan. Their Qianlong Palace was very close to Xuanlong Mountain, so Zhang Zizai decided to go there and see what she was practicing in Xuanlong Mountain. In the blink of an eye, he left here and disappeared into Xuanlong Mountain, where the trees blocked the sky and the sun was almost dark under the canopy. Xuanlong Mountain was so big that you had to be careful when climbing over the mountains. After all, there were mythical beasts everywhere. Before the Ancestral Dragon Academy was rebuilt, these mythical beasts occupied this place. Now that intruders are here, once they are discovered, the mythical beasts will almost attack them. Their sense of territory is quite strong. After Zhang Zizai had the green electric dragon, he felt as if he was in a deserted place when he came to Xuanlong Mountain. The green electric dragon did not speak tiredly. In other words, as long as Zhang Zizai is willing, he can use it at any time. The speed of the past. Although Shen Yingjia was confused, she could almost lock Long Yan's position. She probably knew that she was coming and was heading towards Zhang Zizai to join him. Yan or Zhang Zizai had gained something and was about to show it to her. Unknowingly, he seemed to want to share whatever he had gained with her. The jungle in Xuanlong Mountain was a little dark, and someone came through the wind from the jungle ahead. As he approached, Zhang Zizai was smiling, but suddenly his expression changed. The person coming is definitely not Long Yan. This is not her aura. We have been together for too long. Her temperament is unique, and with her totem, she is not the kind of person who can make people feel the glory and holiness from a distance. And it is exactly this kind of existence that is meeting Zhang Zizai now. The person in front of him broke through the darkness and arrived in front of him in an instant. This person was like a golden sword piercing his eyes. When he saw Zhang Zizai, he suddenly sneered, "I've been waiting for you for half a month, go to hell." This woman is very heroic, but the evil spirit between her eyebrows ruins her beauty. Otherwise, she is also a peerless beauty. Her vigorous posture, wild figure, round thighs, and powerful waist are full of power, especially at this time. When he is murderous, he looks even hotter. That's right, it's Xuanhuan Li. She was like a silver ray of light, instantly striking in front of Zhang Zizai's eyes. The silver star dragon spear in her hand traced a ferocious trajectory and went straight to the center of Zhang Zizai's eyebrows. Her totem is the million sky-splitting silver blade divine dragon totem. The totem of this totem is the divine dragon. At this time, behind her, it directly turns into endless silver blades, sweeping over like a tornado. Wherever it goes, no matter where it goes, it turns into endless silver blades. Trees and rocks were directly strangled into powder, which shows her murderous intention towards Zhang Zizai. At this time, Xuanhuan Li was completely different from when she was in the time-reversing dragon formation. Without the restrictions of the time-reversing dragon formation, her realm was 6 levels higher than Zhang Zizai's. This was no longer a gap that could be made up by any good fortune. With her confidence, she was sure to kill Zhang Zizai in one blow, and she was doing so now. Zhang Zizai could be sure that she wanted to kill him. Moreover, if not, why did he use Long Yan to attract him to Xuanlong Mountain? What a crazy woman! In this case, Yan'er might still be very dangerous, and if she succeeded, she would definitely kill him to silence him. By then, Long Yan would be in danger. Is it that serious? Are you crazy? Zhang Zizai said speechlessly. It was just an ordinary dispute, but she actually killed him here directly. How barbaric is that? I knew her barbarity and domineering in the Supreme Hidden Dragon battlefield, but I didn't expect her to be even more excessive than Zhang Zizai imagined. I just want you to understand that if you offend someone you can't afford to offend, you will pay with your life. I can kill you without anyone knowing. Even if something goes wrong, my elders can handle it for me. Xuanhuan Li appeared in front of him in an instant, and the silver star dragon spear and silver blade storm swallowed Zhang Zizai almost at the same time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1125. Speaking of danger, it was naturally quite dangerous at the moment. If Zhang Zizai didn't go to the Holy Dragon Mountain, it would really be possible for her to get through it without anyone noticing. After all, the gap in real strength is not that easy to make up. Even if he wins her on the Supreme List, he will still win her when she was 20 years old, not who she is now. Mistaking the supreme ranking for the ranking of true strength is a taboo for all Ancestral Dragon Academy disciples. In the moment of crisis, Zhang Zizai didn't want to get entangled with her here. Of course, he wanted to save his life first, so at the first moment, the green electric dragon felt the danger and integrated into his divine body. At this moment, Zhang Zizai exploded with an unprecedented force. With the fastest speed ever, he flashed back directly. Amidst a burst of lightning and thunder, he flew out directly. Xuanhuan Li's prediction was wrong, and all his killing moves hit the ground and trees, causing a large area of damage in a short time. Shattered. However, Zhang Ziyu managed to escape amidst the dangers and avoid the fatal blow, and at the same time distanced himself from Xuanhuan Li. Are you crazy? Killing people in Zilong Academy? No matter how powerful your family background is, if someone finds out, you will be guilty of a capital crime. As for you, Zhang Zizai was speechless. It was really hard to meet such a madman. It's a headache. There was indeed a conflict on the Supreme Qianlong battlefield, but as for being so angry that he planned to kill people? How overbearing does one have to be, and how unbearable must one be to be wronged, to be so extreme? What speed are you doing? Huang Fulai was the most certain of the chance to kill with one strike, and actually let the opponent dodge. She was stunned on the spot for a moment. With her level, as long as she was not on the time reverse dragon formation, she had 10,000 assurances, but she could not believe that she had failed to succeed among these 10,000 assurances. Forget it, since you are so overbearing, I can't beat you now, so I don't want to bother with you. I have recorded everything with the image talisman, which is enough to make you imprisoned for 10 years, but I don't have to argue with you, as long as you let Yanner be returned to me safe and sound, and I will treat this matter as if it didn't happen, Zhang Zizai said in a deep voice. Facing such a domineering, arrogant and extremely impulsive woman, Zhang Zizai really didn't dare to provoke her too much, because Long Yan was probably in her hands and she couldn't deal with herself, but she could deal with Long Yan. This was Zhang Zizai's fault. He was aware of all this, so his current idea was to ensure Long Yan's safety first. As for Huang Fulai, since she was so blatant, someone would naturally stop her and make her pay the price. What a joke. Do you think you are safe? Did I tell you to leave? As for that woman you mentioned, this is not your spare tire. I have already killed you. You won't feel bad anyway, right? Speaking of which, this girl is quite stubborn and didn't even say a word when she died. It's a pity that she was entrusted to someone she didn't love, Huang Fulai sneered. Zhang Zizai frowned. He carefully looked at her tone and expression. In fact, he didn't believe that Long Yan was dead. Huang Fulai was not that vicious. In other words, she may not have the courage yet. Then give it a try, Zhang Zizai said. You really don't care about that girl's life or death, you are such a bitch. Huang Fulai shook her head and sneered. She now knew that Zhang Zizai had incredible speed, and she had not noticed it at all in the previous battle, so she was a little confused, but even so, she still take action, because she knows that the longer it takes, the worse it will be for herself. She, who was at the 7th level of the Divine Sovereign level, took action again. Zhang Zizai was more prepared this time. After she caught up with her, he used Chaos Lightning to distance herself. Through this test, he completely discovered that with the blessing of the Chaos Thunder Bell, he could reach a speed that even Huang Fulai couldn't catch up with, and even the instantaneous burst speed was even higher. Zhang Zizai couldn't help but feel a little lucky. If there was no harvest in the Holy Dragon Mountain, it would really be possible for this crazy woman to be hacked to death today. What was originally a crushing battle has now turned directly into a chase. This process left Huang Fulai completely confused. How could you be so fast? It's impossible. Before he could finish speaking, Zhang Zizai had already disappeared in front of his eyes. The emptiness in front of her eyes made Huang Fulai feel like she was about to cry without tears. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became, and her whole body was on fire. Zhang Zizai, come back and die, or I will send her to hell. I will definitely keep my word, she shouted towards the gloomy Huanlong mountain. Whatever, kill him, I have evidence anyway. You won't survive. Zhang Zizai's voice came from a distant direction, and the sound became weaker as it went further behind, indicating that he was really gone. It felt like he really didn't care about Long Yan's life or death at all. What a bitch, her eyes were red, and her eyes were empty. It was obvious that Zhang Zizai would not come back, and he also had evidence of his conversation with him. Once something happened to Long Yan, he could use that evidence to convince himself he was severely punished. Now that Zilong Academy has just been established, such a bad incident is still shocking. She had made all preparations. She would kill Zhang Zizai silently today and then go back to silence Long Yan. After everything was done, no one would doubt her. It only took a moment to kill Zhang Zizai with her strength, but she never expected that such a situation would happen. Now she herself is confused. I couldn't continue, so I had to go back and let him go. Then when he pursued the case, he said that he just wanted to lure him out and teach him a lesson. Anyway, nothing happened and he couldn't do anything to me. My uncles could also settle things for me. In such an extreme situation, she still knew that she had to stop before it was too late, otherwise it would be very dangerous if she continued to pester him after the failure. It was just that the feeling of giving up was so disgusting. Thinking of Zhang Zizai, the murderous intent in her heart became even more turbulent, and it was so deep that it penetrated into her bones. Just wait for me, Zhang Zizai. You are lucky to escape today, but I will never give you a chance next time. She just couldn't figure out why he could be so fast and play tricks on her. Her heart was raging with anger, and her brain was also burning. The more she thought about it, the more annoyed she became. Everything in front of her seemed so disgusting. It was even more intolerable to think that she had to let Long Yan go. From childhood to adulthood, everyone obeyed her, and even the elders had to give her face. How could she have been so aggrieved? She shuttled through the sea of forests and walked to the depths of Xuanhuan Mountain, and came to a place called Mirror Mountain. Mirror Mountain is a unique place in Xuanhuan Mountain. The mountain walls and rocks here are like mirrors, which can present the surrounding images. Even if the rocks are broken and the surface is rough, as long as they are scrubbed, they will be as smooth as a mirror. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1126. Therefore, Jingshan Mountain is a very strange place. In some places, it is surrounded by smooth mountain walls. As a result, the images in the mountain walls have multiple layers, which makes people dizzy. Even those in the realm of the gods may not be able to see clearly. Directly hit the mountain wall, and ordinary ancient gods could not even move in the Mirror Mountain. Because of the special nature of Jingshan Mountain and the fact that this is a place where birds don't poop, neither the divine beasts nor the disciples of the academy are too lazy to come here. Moreover, this is already the outermost part of Xuanhuan Mountain, and further ahead is the ancestral dragon guardian totem array. Border. After arriving at Mirror Mountain, Xuanhuan skillfully went deep into it. In a square cave with mirrors on all sides and above and below, at first glance, there were literally hundreds of millions of dragon faces in it. After all, there are stone walls as smooth as mirrors on all sides and top and bottom, and they are very flat, so when you look inside, you can see that they are one layer after another. It is a small cave, but it looks extremely vast. Xuanhuan sealed the entrance of the cave with a silver net, which should also be a top-level totem weapon, otherwise Long Yan would not be locked in it. The appearance of Xuanhuan made Long Yan stand up and appeared in the cave instantly. She looked at Xuanhuan with cold eyes and said nothing. I know what you want to know. He is dead and I cut him into pieces. Now it's your turn. When you all weigh the minced meat, the world will be pure. I guarantee that few people will remember you. Such a humble person, his identity was also arrogant in front of me, and he played a little trick, which really made him die without a burial place. Xuanhuan couldn't help but laugh. She knew that she was deceiving herself, but it felt good to say it like this, and she saw it. Long Yan's eyes became even more indifferent, and she felt happier. The previous gloom was simply swept away. Do you want me to burn you all together? Xuanhuan looked at her, then smiled and said, that's a nice idea. Although she was laughing, she was also observing secretly. She wanted to see her hysterical appearance, to see her crying and shouting for revenge for Zhang Zizai, which would definitely make her feel happy. But she was disappointed. She didn't react much. She might have struggled a little at first, but then she actually said, okay, then you can come in and kill me. As if he was talking about something trivial. After saying that, she turned around and returned to the cave. Standing in the center of the cave with mirrors on all sides, her figure appeared on the mountain wall again. Huangfu was stunned. Does she believe it or not? Let you see his flesh and blood. Huangfu crushed the body of a mythical beast she killed in the space jade pendant, fell to the ground, and sneered, "What, does this smell feel a bit familiar? It's impossible for him to even be reincarnated, and his soul was directly wiped out by me." She fell into the pleasure of revenge, but unfortunately she was deceiving herself. From all angles, once Zhang Zizai came to her, if she really made up her mind, he would have almost no chance of survival. So Huangfu was even more certain that she actually believed it. Although she didn't speak, she must have been in extreme torment inside. Seeing her closing her eyes with a somewhat silent expression, Huangfu felt very happy. She said, "It's a pity that I hate this person so much that I didn't torture him properly and just let him go. If I were in another place, I would definitely let this person go. People who don't have brains regret coming into this world." As soon as she finished speaking, she thought Longyan would be even more sad, but she didn't expect that her body was suddenly covered in a large amount of blood mist. The blood mist actually showed signs of condensing into the phantom of a bloody dragon. This is a sign of transforming from an ancient god into a divine king. Once the totem divine form is successful, it will be a breakthrough in the realm, and Longyan can enter the divine form realm. Breakthrough. She wanted to see Longyan heartbroken, not her breakthrough. Now there are just signs of this, and she can completely stop it and let her lose this opportunity. Huangfu's head suddenly went crazy. If you want to break through in front of me, there's no way. The moment she was about to rush in to stop him, a flash of cyan lightning flashed past, and Zhang Zizai appeared in front of her, blocking her way. "You're following me," Huangfu exploded instantly. "Otherwise, idiot, how could Zhang Zizai let her control Longyan while he could leave so arrogantly? It can only be said that this woman really looks down on him. On such a critical occasion, he certainly couldn't let this guy disturb her." Looking back, she saw that her totem form was taking shape very quickly. Blood mist spread quickly around her body. In a short moment, the totem form had its outline, and a bloody divine dragon coiled around her. It was a bloody and ferocious divine dragon. Even if it didn't open its eyes at this moment, it was still awe-inspiring. "Get away," Huangfu was about to rush forward. "I want to prevent the disciples of the academy from becoming divine kings, and I want to kill the genius. The evidence of your crime has also fallen into my hands. Huangfu, as long as you understand now and stand still, you can still be saved. If you go further, you will be doomed." Zhang Zizai said indifferently. Huangfu obviously wanted to prevent Longyan from becoming a divine king, and Zilong Academy is a place to train disciples. Such despicable methods are prevented by the disciples' academic rules. Once word spreads, it will have an impact on the reputation of the Huangfu family. Huangfu, no matter how impulsively is, she can figure it out at this time. "You can get out. Be smart, I won't argue with you. Don't force me to fight you to the death." Zhang Zizai couldn't joke with Yanna's safety, so he spoke in a very serious tone, which was enough to scare her. However, he himself did not expect that Longyan would become a divine lord so quickly. When he looked back again, he suddenly saw that the shadow of the totem god image had almost taken shape. The bloody ancient blood prison dragon had opened its eyes at this time. The eyes of the dragon were full of ferocious killing power and were staring at Huangfu at this time. I don't know why, she is still a totem of the divine lord level, but her totem god image has such a terrifying aura, especially the eyes, which are enough to make people feel the fear of death. She has almost succeeded. Zhang Zizai breathed a sigh of relief. In fact, the scene inside the cave can be said to be very spectacular now, because the mirror-like stone walls are closed on all sides, resulting in countless ancient blood prison dragons inside when viewed from the outside. It is simply a scene of billions of dragons gathering. The ancient blood prison dragons are terrifying in themselves, and so many of them gathered together, which is full of the impact of awe in the eyes of the two people. At this moment, Huangfu Li couldn't stop it even if he wanted to. Zhang Zizai also breathed a sigh of relief. At present, she was not only fine, but also successfully reached the divine appearance realm in this mirror mountain. He was about to go in and let her see that she was not dead, but at this moment, something strange happened. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qing Yang. Chapter 1127. Zhang Zizai suddenly saw that in one of the mountain walls, the mirror image in the mountain wall, the ancient blood prison dragon, suddenly had different movements from the original body in the cave. How terrible is it that the things in the mirror are different from those outside the mirror? It was as if I was looking in the mirror, and I had no expression, but the self in the mirror was smiling. All other mountain walls were normal, but the ancient blood prison dragon totem god image in this mountain wall actually came to the outside of the mountain wall, and suddenly rushed out of the mountain wall, and the mirror image in the mirror turned into a real totem god image. After it came out, its mirror image also appeared in other mountain walls, and the mirror images in the cave instantly doubled. In each mirror, there were two totem gods. Zhang Zizai was really shocked. Originally, there was one ancient blood prison dragon entangled with Long Yan, but now it turned into two. The two are exactly the same, but they are not repelled, guarding beside Long Yan, and Long Yan at this time, condensed a large amount of divine spirit to enhance her killing divine source, and truly reached the first level of the realm of the God King. The key point is that everyone has only one totem god image, and there is no exception in the world, but she actually has two, and each one is very strong, and there is no sense of being divided into two. Mirror God image. When Zhang Zizai was still confused, Huangfu Li's face was dull, and her voice was trembling. She looked at Long Yan woodenly, and her palms were shaking. Of course, she was not afraid, but shocked, depressed, and uncomfortable. Mirror God image. Zhang Zizai knew that she should be talking about Long Yan's second totem god image. Now she directly relied on these two totem god images and rushed out of the cave. This time, the two ancient blood prison dragons actually tore open the totem magic weapon that Huangfu Li trapped her. With two dragons entangled, her temperament became even more weird. Only when she saw Zhang Zizai, she softened a lot. She gently called Zhang Zizai's name and came to his side. At this time, the phantoms of the two ancient blood prison dragons entered her body. Two totem god images, are they used the same way? Zhang Zizai asked. Yes, yes, Long Yan nodded. It seemed that she didn't believe that Huangfu Li and Zhang Zizai would die. She just became a godly lord, which had nothing to do with Huangfu Li's stimulation. The strength is the same. Yes, just like your forbidden dragon divine phase, a bloody shadow came out of the stone wall of this mirror mountain, entered my killing divine source, and then the second totem divine phase was born. Interesting. Zhang Zizai laughed. To be honest, the power of this mirror divine phase should not be weaker than Zhang Zizai's forbidden dragon divine phase. His forbidden dragon divine phase can suppress the enemy's totem divine phase. For example, Huangfu Li's totem divine phase can only play the level of the 6th level of the godly lord realm in front of him, while Long Yan's mirror divine phase, from 1 to 2, can besiege the opponent's divine phase. At least among the same level, she must be stronger. This is probably the only person in the world who has two totem divine phases. This is the good fortune of Jing Shan. She was locked here by Huangfu Li this time, which can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. So Zhang Zizai smiled and said to Huangfu Li, "Thank you so much, you are so good to us. If it weren't for you, how could she get this precious mirror god image? You are simply our lucky star." This sentence simply pissed off Huangfu Li to death. She was already unbearable, and now she was about to explode. She roared and said, "I will tear your mouth apart." She didn't dare to kill anyone, but she still had the courage to abuse Zhang Zizai. When she lost her mind and came to kill directly, Zhang Zizai smiled coldly and took Yanner away with chaos lightning. The speed of the two people would be affected, so it was a bit difficult to get rid of Huangfu Li, but it was also difficult for this person to catch up with them. "Why are you doing this? It's not easy to catch up with us like a turtle." Zhang Zizai turned around and sneered. She was so domineering and arrogant, how could she have thought that there would be such a person who was not afraid of her at all? Zhang Zizai didn't know what was going on with the mirror god image. It was a secret like the forbidden dragon god image. However, Zhang Zizai felt that the ancestral Dragon Academy seemed to be very optimistic about them. He had been blessed with good fortunes one after another, and now Yanner had also obtained the mirror god image. He felt that staying here should be the absolutely correct choice. Not long after they left, a man came towards them. It was the Sky Dragon God King. In fact, Zhang Zizai was concerned about Long Yan's safety before. When he got rid of Huangfu Li for the first time, he had already sent a message to the Sky Dragon God King. When the Sky Dragon God King came, he saw Huangfu Li still chasing them. He had a cold face and directly held Huangfu Li down. He said with cold eyes, "Do you know what you are doing now? A mere God King of a small divine domain dares to touch me." Huangfu Li was not afraid and stared at the Sky Dragon God King. "Haha, I knew you were stupid. You invited all your family members." The Heavenly Dragon God King looked back and saw a large group of people coming over there, including Huangfu Yan, and her brother Huangfu Feng. When they saw Huangfu Li here, their expressions turned cold. "Brother, this person attacked me for no reason." Huangfu Li was nervous, but still unrepentant. "Don't struggle. I've already shown your evidence to your brother," Zhang Zizai said with a smile. He said that as long as she released Long Yan, he would not bother with her, but Huangfu Li did not release him from the beginning to the end. "Moreover, do you really need to be polite to such a dangerous person?" "Sorry, Zhang Zizai is not so cowardly. This time, he wants to teach Huangfu Li a lesson." "You are despicable and shameless." Huangfu Li was completely stunned when he heard this. The Heavenly Dragon God King pressed her head and said, "You are really courageous. As soon as the Zilong Academy was established, you dared to plan to kill people and destroy the corpses to eliminate traces, but this is the Zilong Academy, not your Huangfu family. Do you know what serious crime you have committed according to the disciples' rules?" Huangfu Li saw the indifferent eyes of her brother and elders. She finally panicked and said quickly, Go back to Dragon Master." "All I said were angry words. I just wanted to take revenge on him. I definitely had no intention of killing anyone, and look at Long Yan, I have imprisoned her for more than 10 days, and she is still not well, and with my help, she has broken through to the realm of a god." She was so panicked. The looks from her brothers and the others frightened her. In desperation, she even asked for credit. "Oh, really?" The Heavenly Dragon God King knew that she would say this. He turned around and asked, "What do you think of everyone's suggestions? Is she a naughty person or a murderer?" In fact, he knew that Huangfu Li didn't succeed. With the power of the Huangfu family, it would be impossible to impose a heavy punishment. However, she would never be able to escape a light punishment. The Heavenly Dragon God King asked the others, but the others avoided talking and looked at Huangfu Yan. Whether she is really murderous or not, such behavior is wrong and needs to be a warning to others. Therefore, I think that she should be imprisoned in the Forbidden Dragon Suandi for 10 years to reflect on it. Do you have any opinions?" Tianlong God King smiled. "Explain." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1128. What's your opinion? Are you out of your mind? Do you want me to ban the dragon Xuanbi for 10 years? Huangfulai stared at the heavenly dragon god king with his eyes wide open, as if he had heard a big joke. Shut up. It was only then that Huangfu Feng's cold scolding completely frightened her. His face became a little panicked. Huangfu Feng would never be like this. The fact that he was so serious this time clearly showed the seriousness of this matter. He's talking nonsense, I'm just scaring them. Huangfulai said aggrievedly. She was finally smarter and knew it was time to protect herself. She looked at Zhang Zizai resentfully, surely thinking that Zhang Zizai had clearly said that he would let her go as long as she let him go, but he had already informed her in advance. To her, this was despicable, but I didn't even think about it. Zhang Zizai would make fun of Yanner's life. The heavenly dragon god king ignored her, but looked at the other dragon sacrificial masters, and said, the evidence is conclusive, and her sophistry is of no use. This is the first time such a bad incident has occurred since the ancestral Dragon Academy was rebuilt. If it is not severely punished, the impact will be huge. I think 10 years of confinement is a lighter punishment. Do you have any opinions? Of course, if you choose to ask the palace master and let him make the decision, that's fine. Huangfu Li's mistake was that not only did he accomplish nothing, but he also gave Long Yan a blessing. The key was to let Zhang Zizai firmly grasp the evidence. Did she really want to kill someone? The dragon sacrificial masters present it can be seen at a glance that if this matter really gets serious, and even spreads to the palace master, in order to eliminate evil obstacles and adhere to the rules, 10 years of confinement will indeed be a very light punishment. Therefore, the heavenly dragon god king at this moment is actually very stubborn and does not give others a chance to refute at all. Therefore, when he proposed punishment, almost no one responded. Only Huangfu Feng said, Dragon Sacrifice Master, can you give me a lighter punishment if it is my sister's first offense? Generally speaking, at least 90% of the Dragon Sacrificial Masters in the entire Zilong Academy will give Huangfu Feng face, because Huangfu Feng is already close to the God King. One day in the future, he will become a big shot in the Huangfu family, and even have a big influence in the future. May become a god. However, the heavenly dragon god king is a different kind. He has no one to rely on and no worries in the dragon sacrifice god realm. He is not afraid of anyone at all. After Huangfu Feng finished speaking, he smiled and said, it is the first offense that needs to wake her up. If the punishment is not enough, it will harm her if she commits it again in the future. 10 years is not long. In the ban of Long Xuanbi, reflecting on it will be of great benefit to her, and she might even be able to obtain the forbidden dragon divine aspect. This sentence is indeed very strong. Even Zhang Zizai wants to give him a thumbs up. You must know that the best place for training in Zilong Academy is still a secret place like the Holy Dragon Mountain. The forbidden dragon Xuanbi is a person who can disturb the mind. The place is not suitable for cultivation at all. If she stays there for 10 years, she will at least be separated by a huge gap between geniuses of the same realm. It can be said that at the age that is most suitable for rapid advancement, this possibility is lost. This punishment was considered serious, so at this time Huangfulai began to be afraid. She began to regret that she had been rude to the heavenly dragon god king just now. Now it seemed that even her brother was powerless, so her fate would probably not change. Room. Sure enough, the heavenly dragon god king said, since all the dragon sacrificial masters have no objections, I will sentence her to be imprisoned in the dragon Xuandi for 10 years. The evidence is in my hands. If anyone has any objections to this, you can come to me. I am waiting for you at any time. Huangfu Feng, it's up to you to send her to the forbidden dragon Xuanbi. As the elder brother, you have to teach her more about what education means. Yes, Dragon Sacrifice Master Huangfu nodded. His expression seemed quite calm. He was a junior after all. Everyone knew that the words of the heavenly dragon god king were a complete stimulus to him. Brother, you can't do this, Huangfu was completely worried. She was completely panicked. Now it seemed that no one was refuting the heavenly dragon god king. Just because she was talking could only make Huangfu glare. The heavenly dragon god king ignored her at this time. He turned his attention to Longyan and asked, "You became a god king here?" The dragon sacrifice masters present must have heard that Zhang Zizai and the other 4 people were all brought by the heavenly dragon god king from his small divine domain, and they were as close as sons. Longyan nodded. "It seems a bit special, let's show it to you." The heavenly dragon god king smiled. Things like totems and gods are the most difficult to hide, and sooner or later they have to be used in battle. Therefore, Longyan did not hide it. At this time, the blood mist filled his body. In a short period of time, 2 identical ancient blood prison dragons suddenly appeared and coiled around him. Although they were not big, these 2 totems, the divine appearance was enough to shock all the dragon sacrificial masters present. Mirror God aspect. The legendary mirror god actually exists. It is indeed the mirror divine aspect, which is equivalent to her having 2 totem divine aspects. When she becomes the god king, she will be able to have a real dragon clone equivalent to the original body. It's amazing. Zhang Zizai listened to their shocking words and gained something. He didn't expect that after becoming the god king, this mirror god could have a real clone that was equivalent to the original body. It was simply split in 2. Of course, 2 bodies and 1 will are equivalent to the left and right hands, but they are not continuous in space. The dragon sacrificial masters were actually completely stunned, with mixed expressions in their eyes. I have also read records of the mirror god aspect, but there is no record in history that anyone has obtained it. It should have appeared before, but there is no record. However, the power of the mirror god aspect should be no different than the forbidden dragon god. Where did you get this mirror god image? A god king couldn't wait to ask Longyan. In a cave in the Mirror Mountain, there are mirrors everywhere, Zhang Zizai answered on behalf of Yan'er. Take more people to have a look, maybe you can get the same harvest. Tianlong God King smiled. In fact, he was not worried that others would get the mirror god image, because he was sure that others would not have a chance, because he was also sure that Zhang Zizai and Longyan's luck was incomparable to others. From the current point of view, they are destined to become the most fortunate people in the Zilong Academy. I heard that Zhang Zizai also got the Son of the Heavenly God artifact in the Holy Dragon Mountain, right? Yes, the Chaos Lightning of the Chaos Thunder Bell, I saw him use it. If it weren't for this Chaos Lightning, Huangfu would have killed him. Then he already has 2 fortunes, and they are both unprecedented, especially the Forbidden Dragon God image, which is the same fortune as the Demon Dragon Emperor. Many god kings who have nothing to do with the Huangfu family have changed their expressions when they look at them. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Feng Qingyang. Chapter 1129. Brothers, we're leaving first. Goodbye. After the Dragon God King finished his presentation, he was in a good mood. After that, he reminded Huangfu again, saying, remember to send Huangfu to the Forbidden Dragon Mysterious Jade within 3 days. If your elders have any objections, you can come to me. He really wasn't afraid at all. After that, he took Zhang Zizai and left directly, leaving people stunned at the 3 people coming from their small divine domain. In the crowd, Huangfu held Huangfu hand, with a terrified expression, wanting to cry but no tears. You go in first, and I'll find a way with my father. I will definitely not let you stay for 10 years, Huangfu said. Thank you, brother. Huangfu burst into tears. You are so impulsive and brainless this time. I will teach you a lesson later. You didn't discuss this matter with me, Huangfu Feng glared. I'm just afraid that my brother won't agree. Huangfu Li said aggrievedly. Huangfu Feng said goodbye to the other god kings first, and then returned with Huangfu Yan. He was going to send Huangfu Li over first, and then find a way. Brother, Zhang Zizai must pay the price. He is too arrogant. With his current status, he is related to the immortal lord. He should be despised by everyone. Why does he act so arrogantly in the Zilong Academy and get so many benefits? Don't worry about this matter, Huangfu Feng said coldly. Does it mean that brother will help me deal with him? Huangfu Li said in surprise. Shut up. Although she was scolded, she was still happy because she knew that her brother was angry. As long as her brother was really angry, Zhang Zizai would definitely suffer. Let you laugh first, and see how long you can laugh, Huangfu Li thought with a gloomy face. On the way back to Qianlong Palace, Tianlong God King first praised Zhang Zizai's performance. He encouraged Zhang Zizai to be brave enough to show his performance and obtain more resources. If Zhang Zizai didn't challenge the Supreme Hidden Dragon battlefield, he wouldn't get the Son of the Heavenly Artifact. This road can only be fought more and more bravely, and face the challenges head-on. By the way, I recently gave the 5 Palace Masters some suggestions, which they adopted and should be announced soon, that is, Kinyu can use the God King level magic weapon to fight in the Supreme Hidden Dragon battlefield. After all, it is also a skill to master the God King level magic weapon in advance. He is the only exception. Zhang Zizai didn't expect such a good thing. That's not the case. Originally, it was unfair to the geniuses who had the God King level magic weapon to limit it directly. So now the rules of the God King level magic weapon have been modified. If both sides have it, they can use it. If one side has it and the other side doesn't, if the one who has it has reduced by more than 1/5, then it cannot be used, but if they are almost the same age, then it can be used. Zhang Zizai moved. There are 3 situations. The first one is that neither of them has the God King level magic weapon, which is simple. The second one is that both have the God King level magic weapon. In the past, neither could use it, but now it has been changed to both can use it. The third one is that one side has it and the other does not. For example, if both of them are 100 years old, then one of them can use the God King level magic weapon, which is its advantage and should be reflected on the Supreme list. However, if this 100-year-old Academy disciple with the God King level magic weapon encounters an opponent who is less than 80 years old, and he is reduced by more than 1/5 by the reverse time dragon formation, then he does not need to use it. This is also a protection for the Academy disciples who are strong in talent but young. For example, if Zhang Zizai is with them, if they encounter an opponent who is weakened but holds the God King level magic weapon, then they can't fight. The current rules should be fairer. Then Su Kinyu should be able to pack up the Wang Chuan sword and fight. After all, there are almost no people who are 1/5 younger than him. After returning to the Qianlong Palace, the Dragon God King asked them to continue to carry forward. Zhang Zizai asked about the situation in the Chaos Demon realm. The Dragon God King said that the Supreme Dragon Clan is now arranging the defense line. There is no change in the Chaos Demon realm. It is estimated that the Immortal Venerable dare not leave the Heavenly Intention Tank formation of all living beings. Zhang Zizai imagined what the bell would be like there, and then his thoughts were in a mess. After the Heavenly Dragon God King left, Zhang Zizai began to immerse himself in cultivation. He moved between the Qianlong Palace and the Holy Dragon Mountain, and he had also been to several other 9 dragon bells in the Holy Dragon Mountain. However, it seemed that it was not easy to get the Son of the Heavenly God artifact again. He tried to use the blood-dripping method, but failed. He knew why those who had obtained the Son of the Heavenly God artifact did not get the 9 Dragon Chaos God Bell in the end, because it was said that it was necessary to get the Son of the Heavenly God artifact of all the 9 Dragon Chaos God Bells before it was possible to awaken the Heavenly God artifact, but whether it was finally obtained or not would still be tested. Half a year passed in such a quiet cultivation time. In the past 6 months, it was heard that Huangfu Li was still in the forbidden dragon Xuanbi, and people from the Huangfu family came to find the heavenly dragon god king, but the heavenly dragon god king had evidence in hand and was so tough that he directly forced the people from the Huangfu family away. In the past 6 months, Lu Dingxing and his team have cultivated to the 9th level of the ancient god realm, and are close to the god sovereign. With the god king level totem and the Wang Chuan sword in hand, Xuanhuan's ranking on the supreme list has surpassed Lu Dingxing. Most importantly, in the past 6 months, Zhang Zizai finally broke through and reached the 2nd level of the god realm. The breakthrough in realm has made him continue to become stronger in all aspects, even the chaos lightning with the speed of the green lightning dragon has been improved again. Now, Zhang Zizai is confident that he can challenge opponents at the 5th level of the Divine Lord realm, and there are probably not many people on the supreme list who have reached the 5th level at his age. However, before that, he wants to go to the evolution realm again. He was scared away by the blood prison twin demons last time, and this time he has a little more capital, so he wants to take the risk and enter the evolution realm again. If it weren't for the blood prison twin demons, he wouldn't have missed entering the evolution realm for the 2nd time in the past 6 months. But this time, he is going to go in by himself. It's a little more convenient to act alone. Longyan and the others were nearby, and they also looked out for Zhang Zizai, and Zhang Zizai opened the door to the evolution realm and quietly entered it. As soon as he came in, he smelled the strong smell of blood. Sure enough, the blood prison twin demons must still be nearby. In this way, it can be said to be thrilling. However, Zhang Zizai acted swiftly and fled and hid first, so the other party might not find him. After he hid, he found that the 2nd level of the evolution realm seemed a little different. When he looked up, he suddenly saw that the blood-colored vortex above his head was a little different. In short, it was spinning faster. In the center of the vortex, a terrifying aura was suppressing the heaven and earth, causing the entire evolutionary world to hear the wailing of divine beasts. However, there is a divine beast king nearby. Even the divine beast king is wailing, "What is going on?" Today is still 2 chapters. This week is the end. This is the busiest week for Crazy in a year. Thank you for understanding. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1130. I haven't been here for a long time. I didn't expect that the atmosphere in the 2nd level of the evolutionary world would become so weird. This extremely depressing feeling reminded Zhang Zizai of the time when Lu Dingxing's left eyeball appeared in the 1st level of the evolutionary world. That time, it seemed to be the same. At that time, the vortex in the sky turned blood-colored, and now the vortex is originally blood-colored. But it can be clearly seen that the blood color has become more intense. It is even pouring rain at this time. The raindrops are blood drops. Countless blood drops fall. At this time, the entire land of the evolutionary world is a river of blood. Looking around, the mountains and plains are all blood-colored. In such a world, the wailing sounds of the divine beasts in awe are particularly harsh. Is something going to appear again? Zhang Zizai can also feel this terrifying breath, but he has the immortal will of fighting the sky, so he can still hold on. After all, even if the divine beast is the divine beast king, the wisdom will not be too high. Wailing in the face of fear is just its instinctive reaction. The 2nd level of the evolutionary world now can be said to be very gloomy. Zhang Zizai was not in a hurry. He hid in the dark, stayed in the crack of the mountain wall and watched the changes, pondering the changes in this world. The situation of the 2nd level of the evolutionary world should have lasted for some time until today. Because Zhang Zizai saw that some sunken places had directly become blood-colored lakes. It would take a long time of blood rain to have such an effect. In the dead silence, Zhang Zizai waited patiently. Unknowingly, more than 7 or 8 days had passed. He went back in the middle to save them from worrying about him. He told them about the situation in the evolutionary world. He returned again half a day later and found that it was still the same. However, it can be clearly felt that the terrifying oppression in the vortex in the sky has become more intense. It seems that something is about to come. Zhang Zizai watched carefully. Time slipped away quietly. Just half a month after coming to the second level of the evolutionary world, the blood-colored vortex turned faster and faster, and the whole world seemed to be sucked in. When it was almost at its peak, suddenly, the blood-colored vortex stopped violently. At this moment, time seemed to have stopped, and even the wailing of the world's beasts stopped at this time. Deathly silence filled the world. And in this deathly silence, in the center of the blood-colored vortex, a black object suddenly descended and appeared between the world and the second level of the evolutionary world. This is the terrifying existence. Zhang Zizai took a closer look and found that it was actually a black beast claw. The beast claw was huge and boundless, with black scales and hair. Only 5 claws comparable to the heaven-slaying bloodthorn were ferocious blood-colored. The sharpness and edge of the claws were simply numbing. Just like this, a beast claw suddenly appeared between heaven and earth. Then the heaven and earth began to return to their original state, and the bloody downpour stopped, but the evolution world became even more noisy, because the divine beasts here also saw the black beast claw, so they began to flee east and west, making even more tragic wailing sounds, especially many ordinary divine beasts, who were like encountering the end of the world, abandoning their wives and children, and fleeing in panic. Zhang Zizai was actually a little scared, but he was brave, so he could still raise his head and observe the beast claw carefully. If he looked carefully, he found that the beast claw was indeed fierce, and it was coming directly downward in a very short moment. Zhang Zizai was in this position, close to the center of the vortex, which was relatively dangerous. For this reason, he opened the door of the evolution world in advance and placed it next to him. If the situation was not right, he could leave directly. With his chaotic lightning speed, there should be enough time. In the blink of an eye, the beast claw had already landed on the ground, and Zhang Zizai lost its trace, but it was obvious that the entire second level of the evolutionary world was in a state of chaos, and even the screams of many divine beasts were heard. Obviously, the beast claw was wreaking havoc between heaven and earth. Zhang Zizai looked into the distance, which was directly below the vortex. Now that location was the most chaotic. He had seen several terrifying divine beast kings flying up, moving their positions, and leaving the vicinity. However, it seemed that there were also some who were not convinced, and they fought against the beast claw, causing a huge battle. Zhang Zizai could not see the specific results of the battle for a while. He took the gate of the evolutionary world and walked forward for some distance, and came to the stone forest of the blood-prisoned twin demons. There was suddenly a lot of movement in front of him. At this moment, Zhang Zizai saw the huge blood-colored two-headed bat flying up. It was very fierce and violent. In front of him was the beast claw that descended from the sky. The beast claw was like a hole, and it was fighting with the blood-prisoned twin demons at this time. I didn't expect that the blood-prisoned twin demons were so bold. While everyone else was hiding, he actually fought with the beast claws. As the king of divine beasts, it does have the capital to be proud. The blood-prisoned twin demons actually have 2 spiritual wills. They share the same divine beast body, but they are very coordinated. The combat power they exert is not something that Zhang Zizai can understand at this level. Even for the divine beast king, its combat power is mainly concentrated in 2 aspects. One is the totem magic power, and the other is the terrifying flesh and blood body. The contest of flesh and blood bodies will be more earth-shattering. This is what Zhang Zizai saw in front of him. This battle caused the entire vast stone forest to collapse in an instant. Can the blood-prisoned twins withstand the lethality of this beast claw? Zhang Zizai couldn't see clearly the strength between them for a while, but at this moment, the battle ended suddenly. With a loud bang, a huge flesh and blood body fell in front of Zhang Zizai's eyes. He was still too close, so he was drenched in blood at this moment. The incomplete corpse on the ground was the blood prison twins of the Divine Beast King. Now, a large number of blood marks were torn on its body, and the thick black air was still tearing its internal organs. Even its soul of the Divine Beast disappeared at this time. It was probably taken away by the beast claw. I didn't expect that the blood prison twins were so vulnerable. Zhang Zizai left in a hurry. The beast claw was too terrifying. He went straight into the gate of the evolutionary world and then closed it directly. When he returned to the Zilong Academy, he knew he was safe. They hurriedly asked Zhang Zizai about the situation here, and Zhang Zizai told them everything. When they knew that even the blood prison twin demons were killed easily by the beast claw, everyone was still quite shocked. What on earth is this thing? It came from the third level of the evolutionary world. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1131. With their current knowledge, it is difficult to know. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Do you want to go in again? Long Yan asked. Such a big thing happened in the second level of the evolutionary world. I always want to see how it will develop in the future. Zhang Zizai said, after killing the blood prison twin demons, this beast claw should not stay for too long. It may go to find other prey. I will sneak in and take a look in 2 days. In fact, 2 days is long enough, but for the sake of safety, he still held back. He was mainly thinking, if the beast claw killed many divine beast kings, wouldn't there be many top evolution sources without owners? At the critical moment, you must seize the opportunity to go in and pick up the leak. If you go in a month later, it is estimated that the daylily will be cold. It is difficult to guess from the outside where this beast claw came from. Zhang Zizai waited patiently for 2 days and opened the door of the evolutionary world again to enter it. After arriving here, he found that the bodies of the blood prison twin demons had disappeared. The whole world seemed to have returned to normal. There seemed to be no more divine beasts wailing, and there was a dead silence between heaven and earth. Could it be that the beast claws have killed all the divine beasts in this evolutionary world? He walked forward curiously and headed for the core area of the second level of this evolutionary world. The dead silence around was simply a bit horrifying. Now, apart from the blood flowing like a river on the ground, even the divine beasts were not seen. It felt like the beast claws had really killed them all. Zhang Zizai walked forward a few steps. At this moment, he suddenly felt a chill on his back. A gust of cool wind behind the back of his head made him shudder, and the hairs on his body almost stood up. This dead silence was indeed shocking. He felt cold all over now. The green lightning dragon instantly merged into his body. Almost in the next moment, he turned around, and then he suddenly found that the beast claws had shrunk a lot and appeared behind him. This was a feeling of seeing a ghost suddenly. The moment he saw the beast claw, Zhang Zizai's head almost split open. He was already careful enough and would come back in 2 days. According to his estimation, the beast claw would continue to kill people after killing the 2 demons of the blood prison, and it was unlikely to stay here. He never expected that after he came in, he would be followed by this strange beast claw in the next moment. The crisis of death enveloped his whole body in this moment. He almost didn't think about it and fled back at the first time. The speed of chaos lightning was pretty good. At this time, he was already sweating coldly. He didn't regret it. He came for the source of evolution, which was definitely an adventure. Now he just encountered the worst situation. But how to escape next? It became the biggest problem. Zhang Zizai didn't want to die at all now, because he still missed the bell and owed Longyan a debt to pay. But no matter how fast he ran, no matter where he ran, the strange beast claw would appear in front of him in the next moment. Zhang Zizai was slightly stunned, and the beast claw appeared directly on his forehead, then opened the bloody claws and grabbed directly towards the totem at the center of Zhang Zizai's eyebrows. It was almost going to dig out Zhang Zizai's totem. At this critical moment, Zhang Zizai instantly turned into the totem beast, and then turned into a whirlpool. At this critical moment, he avoided this fatal grab, but the key was that Zhang Zizai could not hold on for long, and the beast claw simply stopped during this time. Maybe it knew that Zhang Zizai could not hold on? Sure enough, at the moment when Zhang Zizai turned into a human form, it opened the bloody claws and grabbed Zhang Zizai's forehead. With the speed of the beast claw, it was completely impossible to resist. The next moment, he felt his forehead was cold, and felt that the beast claw had pierced into his flesh and skull, and then grabbed it tightly, almost tearing his head apart. Is he going to die? The beast's claws were too terrifying and straightforward, so there was almost no time to think. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. It was useless for Zhang Zizai to not want to die, because he didn't even have time to think. This was not a slow process. The moment his mind went blank, everything was over. He didn't die. In the sea of life, Zhang Zizai seemed to have forgotten one thing. The black petal. After he turned into a totem dragon, there were no black petals in his mouth, and the totem god also had no petals. It seemed that the black petals did not look like part of his totem. But why did the source of destruction take the form of these petals? He hadn't paid attention to it for a long time, but the black petals in the sea of life brought a destructive blow to the beast's claw when it wanted to tear and take away the totem. It was just a vibration. Although there was still a sting on his forehead, the feeling of death disappeared. He was stunned for a moment, then stretched out his hand and pulled the beast's claw off his forehead. Although the blood on it was still dripping, he felt like he had survived a desperate situation because he survived. The beast's claw still looked bloody and terrifying, especially the blood-colored claw, which looked scarier than Longyan's heaven-slaying bloodthorn. But unexpectedly, it was now held in Zhang Zizai's hand, motionless, as if it was asleep, or in other words, as if it was dead. Although dead, its terrifying power is not weak at all, and it still makes the world of the second level of the evolution world fall into a dead silence. The beasts that should have fled have probably almost all fled. Zhang Zizai weighed the beast claw in his hand, and he suddenly smiled after surviving the disaster. No matter how powerful you are, in my hand, it's just a claw. He roughly guessed that the beast claw was controlled by a spiritual will, or it could be said to be a part of the soul. It should come from the owner of the beast claw. It was just that when it intended to invade Zhang Zizai's natal totem, the black petals directly destroyed it. Now the beast claw has not changed, but it has lost its controller, so it will not move in front of Zhang Zizai, just like a totem weapon that has lost its owner. However, he didn't know whether its spiritual will would be able to revive. Overall, it was still a dangerous thing. But Zhang Zizai was originally very courageous, and escaping death here made him even more courageous. He was still concerned about the evolution source of this evolution world, so he wanted to take this opportunity to look deeper, in case those divine beast kings had escaped and left the evolution source behind. He took the beast claw and went directly to the center of the vortex. He also hoped that the divine beasts would be afraid of the beast claw. Once he encountered a difficult divine beast king or divine beast lord, the beast claw might come in handy. Holy Dragon Totem. Author, Fengqing Yang. Chapter 1132. Sure enough, when he went to the center of the vortex, he basically didn't encounter any other divine beasts. They should have left the vicinity. Unfortunately, considering the importance of these top evolution sources to the divine beasts, it was not difficult for them to take the evolution sources with them before escaping. So the current situation is that there are no divine beasts, but there are no evolution sources either. However, he did not give up. Under the premise of his own safety, he continued to move forward. At most, he would go to the center of the second level of the evolution world. If it weren't for this beast claw, he would not have the opportunity to come here. The closer to the center, the more desolate it is. When you reach the center, there is a dark desert in front of you. You can see the end at a glance. At this position, you can look up and see the center of the vortex in the sky. When Zhang Zizai took the beast claw and took a look here, he was about to leave. Suddenly, the black desert in front of him began to turn upside down, countless black sands rolled, and then a terrifying beast crawled out of the black desert. The size of this giant beast is much larger than the blood prison twin demons, at least 10 times larger, and its aura and divine power are equally amazing. If it were any other time, Zhang Zizai would have difficulty even standing up when he met such a divine beast king. At least the other party's pair of blood-red pupils are as huge as a big rock. But now, this terrifying divine beast king, when facing Zhang Zizai, did not have the momentum to crush him. It even lowered its head slightly and did not look at Zhang Zizai, obviously looking like a coward. It is very likely that it is the strongest existence in the second level of this evolutionary world. Why is it so respectful to me? Is it because I have the beast claw in my hand? This is certain, otherwise if he came in, he would probably be eaten before he even saw the divine beast king. Zhang Zizai took a closer look and found that this divine beast king was the blood-maned dark unicorn. He was very familiar with the Kylin. The Kylin was the animal most similar to the divine dragon. It could be said that it had a dragon head and a body. Its body was covered with black scales that were very similar to the dragon scales that Zhang Zizai had when he turned into a dragon. Its uniqueness was that it had a blood-colored mane as dense as a lion's at its neck, which made it more majestic and wild. According to records, when this kind of divine beast king grows up, it is at least the 5th level of the divine king, and this huge blood-maned dark Kylin in front of him is obviously more than that. When the beast claw descended before, it should have hidden itself. It was obvious that it crawled out from the depths of the black desert when it saw Zhang Zizai controlling the beast claw. Woo woo. After crawling out, the blood-maned dark Kylin crawled. Do you have an evolution source? Zhang Zizai asked simply, taking advantage of the fact that the divine beast king didn't know his background. He should blackmail him quickly. To be honest, he was much more nervous than the blood-maned dark Kylin now. Who knew that it would not suddenly find out that he was actually very weak? After hearing his words, the blood-maned dark unicorn whimpered a few times, seeming a little unwilling, but still dived back into the depths of darkness. In less than half a quarter of an hour, it reappeared, opened its mouth, and threw a black thing to Zhang Zizai. It was a black skull with bone spurs all over the surface of the bones. It looked extremely hideous, but Zhang Zizai knew that it was not a corpse, but an evolution source born from heaven and earth, and it must be a God King level evolution source. This guy obviously gave away his treasure. This was a thrilling blackmail process, and Zhang Zizai's steps were all empty, but he still coughed twice, put away the evolution source, and then said, "This is more or less." After that, he turned around and left with the beast claw. He was not sure whether this blood-maned dark unicorn had other evolution sources, but he knew that people should not be greedy and should know how to stop when they are ahead. If this blood-maned dark unicorn was very uncomfortable, if he was forced into a corner, he would be in trouble. After getting the evolution source, he turned around and left, quietly disappearing into the darkness. He didn't come back for a moment, and left in a swagger, which was simply bluffing to the extreme. In fact, as soon as he left this range, he began to prepare to open the door of the evolution world and escape. To be on the safe side, he still left farther away, so that the next time he came in, those divine beast kings would have returned. If he appeared out of thin air, wouldn't he become their snack? In this way, he held the beast claw in one hand, opened the door of the evolution world, and returned to the Zilong Academy. This time coming in can be said to be extremely dangerous, but fortunately there was a black petal to protect it, which was a blessing in disguise. Regarding this beast claw, he hesitated for a while. Anyway, he couldn't leave it in this evolution world. If he took it back, he was afraid that there would be problems. But there were many strong people there after all. If something really happened, it would probably be solved. So he took it away. Passing through the door of the evolution world, in the blink of an eye, he returned to the Qianlong Palace. This time he didn't stay in the evolution world for a long time, so Lu Dingxing and the other three were still there. Zhang Zizai appeared with such a terrifying beast claw in his hand, which frightened them at the first time. Panda, do you want to be from the same body as your left eye? The reason why Zhang Zizai didn't put it away was because he had discussed with Lu Dingxing before that this beast claw might be related to his eye, and it might even be a body part of the same existence. As soon as he said it, it really changed. The beast claw flew towards Lu Dingxing, and Lu Dingxing's left eye was already bloody. In the blink of an eye, the beast claw was already in Lu Dingxing's hand. Lu Dingxing didn't say anything, but directly made an amazing move. He took out a knife and chopped off his right palm. When his palm fell to the ground, the beast claw had already docked on his hand. At the same time, the terrifying aura of the beast claw disappeared. Zhang Zizai saw that the beast claw was changing from a pure beast claw to a human-like palm similar to a bear paw. Of course, the 5 blood-red claws were still there, and they were sharper and more pointed. At the same time, his right palm, like his left eye, extended countless blood lines, directly wrapped around his entire right arm, and then extended towards the torso. The blood lines on his left eye and right arm almost occupied most of his body. If he didn't wear clothes, Lu Dingxing would look very ferocious now. A blood-red left eye and a ferocious right palm. The terrifying aura of the beast claw disappeared and became Lu Dingxing's right hand, but the sharp claws of this right hand still had the same lethality as before. Qianyu, Wang Chuan sword. Lu Dingxing felt his palm and said to Qianyu. Qianyu took out the Wang Chuan sword as he was told and said with a smile, "Are you sure? Come on." Qianyu did not hesitate and directly swung the Wang Chuan sword towards him. The sharpness of the God King level weapon was also insurmountable by the God Lord level totem weapon.